Hey guys, lighting is never there. It is. Okay, very nice. All right, so we have some fun articles and things to dig into. All right, D Live, you're up. All right, awesome. All right, hey guys. Now we have a little bit of everything. One that we will get to towards the end of the show is busting open our jar of 3-year-old crackers. We did this back in 19 and we did the year in 2020. They're crunchy and hard. Last year, same thing. Mild staleness. I think if we remember correctly, there's a little bit of stale, right? But we're gonna try them again. This will be year 3. I'm shaking them. They still sound good, so that's gonna be interesting. Now the fork. If you guys have been hanging out on D Live with me after some shows, I finished the fork. I just have to sand it down, but this was a lot of fun. I did some intricate detailing in here. Let's see. Let me go over here to comments. Look at that. This came out so good. This was with the Beavercraft wood carving tools, and with one of their blanks, I made a spoon and now I made a fork. I just have to sand down the intricate areas, just kind of thin these tines out. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I practiced making curves and straight lines and carving in there. That was a lot of fun. So we got that project done. Now, one interesting article out of all the ones I'm going to touch base on. Again, a lot of news is changing today quickly, like the S&P. A sneaky way that people are trying to get us to stop eating beef. There's an article on SciTech Daily that titles "Researchers find that eating a certain protein is related to developing depression." Now, in the article here, it talks about grass-fed beef being one of them, with this amino acid that supposedly causes depression. So out of the hundreds and thousands and millennia of man eating beef, this is their sneaky attempt to suspect that it causes depression. So eat the bugs, not the meat. Very interesting article. Found it by mistake, but very sneaky. Very, very sneaky. All right, how are you guys doing? So yeah, that was on SciTech Daily if you want to check that out. It was very weird. We got some packages in the mail today. I was very excited. One I've been trying to get my hands on for a while, but because of spot prices and fluctuation on the market, it was really weird. And things being available and what you can and can't get your hands on. That came in the mail today. If you guys remember me talking about it a couple weeks ago, yeah, I'll show that after we go through the articles. Now, S&P 500 joins Nasdaq in bear market, drops nearly 900 points. It was 899. So we have this in many markets around the world dropping. So again, we don't give out financial advice, but we do talk about spreading your investments around and not keeping everything in the bank and not keeping everything in the market, kind of spread things around. And in the article here from justthenews.com, it says that while inflation is rising, stocks are falling as the S&P 500 joined the Nasdaq in bear market territory. Now, it had slid down from its highest in November, down 31.5%. So again, just stay on top of that stuff and just hedge your bets. Do the best you can. Food, water, prep, supplies, knock down the debt. And I think a lot of us will be in a better position to take care of ourselves. And there's another article here from Epoch Times. I love this newspaper when it comes to news and outlets. This one has a bar none. Bank of America warns of future inflation shocks, declares technical recession. So I think it's safe to say that we've been in one for quite some time. And I think between the supply chain issues and political challenges, not just here in America, but around the world and other countries, these are sneaky things you got to stay on top of. We have eyes and ears, and we can make up our own minds. And I do believe that on these channels that I'm preaching to the choir, but it's those little articles, those ones that don't make the mainstream, that we really need to find and pay attention to. In this article here, I highlighted that after the May Consumer Price Index, the CPI index, that the bear market rally for stocks has ended and the Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged more than 800 points, nearly 2.3%. And then today, earlier, about maybe, I want to say 3-4 hours ago, that just got updated with the S&P dropping nearly 900 points. So these things happen quickly. Just keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing great based on the emails and the feedback and comments I'm seeing on here. You guys are doing great. So just keep working, keep plugging away on the projects, and I think we'll be in a better position than others, but maybe you can even be an asset depending on what it is you're doing and who you're trying to work with. In this article here from AmericanFaith.com, foreign investment in U.S. farmland triples in last decade, raising national security fears. Now, we've talked about this many times with farmland being bought up from not only China, but other countries, and they just sit on it, using it for investment purposes only. It's kind of like buying land and not really doing anything, but you have it part of your portfolio and your investments, and it makes the numbers look good. But unfortunately for us and other countries, it's not being worked, it's not being utilized. And Chuck Grassley, senator from Iowa, has been trying to pass this bipartisan food security is National Security Act in Congress for several years now, but I think this year it's really gotten a lot of attention, and I think people on both sides are actually looking at it more seriously now. But it seems like a little too late. But in the article here, it says that the Farm Action has been lobbying Congress to get states to monitor foreign investment. Maxwell said the investors are not purchasing farmland for production value of land, he said. Investors in corporations and hedge funds, many foreign owned, that's the sticky part, U.S. farmland is many investments, monetary investments. And then Maxwell calls it a real crisis because they're just buying it and sitting on it and not doing anything with it. Now they're trying to do something now to change that and make it more detailed, because as of right now, federal law requires foreign persons and entities who buy the farmland to disclose it as foreign ownership with the USDA, but then that's it. There's really no limitations after that. They just have to disclose it. So if you want to be careful with their national assets, that's one place to follow through and make sure that there is legislation that will protect our lands. Now, speaking of lands and other issues, things to keep on track of. So far this year, there are over 20 food facilities have burned so far, and it's not even a full complete 6 months into the year. Everything from January 2nd, Illinois, Cargill in Louisiana, Oregon Potato Company in Washington, January 22nd, Winston Weaver Company and January 31st in North Carolina, Wisconsin River Meats, Wisconsin, that was February 3rd. And the latest one, it goes down all across the country. Latest one is 23, 24, 25. JBS Foods, Green Bay, Wisconsin, June 7th. Now, a lot of people have looked at these and said it was no big deal. Fires happen all the time, but I think just based on shortages, supply chain issues we're having everywhere, droughts, floods in certain parts of the world, like in Australia, severe droughts out west Lake Mead, for example. That's an interesting story. I have some notes I want to share with you guys on that one I did just today, actually. So with a crazy combination, China buying up food every which way, including using countries as middlemen, because if you buy from one country to another, you have to report that. If you use a third guy, you don't have to. So there's a lot of that going on, and it has been going on for years now. So it's kind of one of those, what do they know that we don't? So if they're buying up a lot, we should be doing the same thing as well. So bottom line is just stay alert and keep doing what we're doing. Again, like I'm talking about the weather, Argentina's coldest autumn since 1976. As South America freezes intensifies, blizzards sweep across Tasmania as too much snow delays reopening ski resorts in Australia. So you have too much snow for some businesses to open, and you have continuing freezes and damage to crops in South America. Argentina, Brazil, between corn, soy, and vegetables, is kind of like the same song stuck on repeat. Everything from the damage of the corn, drought, too much rain, drought, too much rain, and always the worst timing when it comes to planting. So again, whatever you guys can dehydrate, we dehydrated 25 pounds of carrots this weekend, and then just keep those things running. If you can keep a freezer full, do that. If you can can things, put away meat. Again, between the prices and the absurd security tactics I've seen online, where people have posted pictures of meat with security tags on them in certain stores across the country. That's crazy. Hey Jackie, where do you think is best to invest right now? I've got money in crypto, which has crashed and looking to widen portfolio. Not financial advice, but again, a lot of people are just buying to hold. And if you can just be patient with that, things may change in the future. It's kind of like that principle of delayed gratification. Invest a little bit here and there, and then just hold and wait. Speaking of investments, something that did come in the mail today, and I was excited about because I had a hard time finding them. This thing called Goldbacks, and it is gold, 24 karat gold pressed out, and it's really thin. You can put it in a wallet, you can put it in an envelope, and this is 1/100th of an ounce. So 100 of these would be an ounce of gold. Again, it's an option. Instead of just doing coins or rounds, you can do gold backs. You can do ones, tens, and higher denominations. I grabbed the 10 here. And this was, I think, $34, I believe. And I was fortunate enough to find a guy who sells them locally. So gold, precious metals, food, maybe lead. It depends on your circumstances and your budget and who you're working with. If it's just you and your family, you guys can get together and talk about that. But just spread out investments. Don't put everything in the market. Have something in there if you're comfortable with that. But it's 100% your comfort level. These things take time. These things take years of reading and investing and just hedging your bets and doing what, more importantly, is what you're comfortable with. Your comfort level is the most important thing. Any bug plants burned down? Not that I'm aware of, Wolf, but that's the goofy thing. You have these articles here that are crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, Exo Wolf, thanks for joining in over on D Live. Now, the notes I did take earlier, I want to share with you guys. This works with Lake Powell and Lake Mead, and I actually learned a few things, including some projects that they did, I want to say 5 or 7 years ago. Now, in here, I'm talking about the drought that's happening out west, 1,200-year records. A lot of places, they've never seen the water levels that low. And on top of all of that, California has these water regulators that are just doing an absolute number on the farmers. A lot like rice farmers, for example, need 5 times the amount of water, and they're being told just use a fifth of it. And they can't, so they're not growing the amount of rice that that state and the rest of us want and are trying to not only eat on a daily basis, but put away. Now, Lake Powell feeds Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, and Arizona. Then it drains into Lake Mead, which has built pipes to feed Las Vegas. Now, from Lake Mead, California takes 58%, Arizona takes 37%, and Nevada takes 4%. I was kind of shocked at how low that number was. Now, I found a chart of Lake Mead's intakes. There's these drain valves that they go into the lake that they've drilled down over the years. And just 5 or 7 years ago, they drilled a third intake. And these guys are in trouble based on what I've seen with numbers and charts. I knew it was bad, but when you do the research, which is really easy to find, it's bad. Now, the first intake is 1,050 feet above sea level, and that one's offline. The next one is 1,000 feet above sea level, and that one is offline. And the water below that, not long ago, talked about this just recently. They drilled a third intake 3 miles down at 860 feet above sea level. Now, currently, Lake Mead has less than 130 feet to go until the third intake is offline. Now, yes, resources of all kinds are important, but nothing beats having water on hand. Pools, rain catchment, filling up a tub in a pinch, having extra bottled water on hand. certainly helps to rotate. Now, the West hasn't seen drought numbers this low in over 1,200 years. On top of that, California's regulating water heavily over the farmers. And the important thing is to do something now. No matter where you live in this country or around the world, have extra set aside. I just named the list right there. And the way diesel prices are, don't expect a lot of trucks to make deliveries. Now, we talked about wartime videos in World War II. It's called Wartime Series. There's 8 videos documenting people living the lifestyle of those who survived World War II in England for 5 years. The stress that they the government put on the people and the farmers to grow food was tremendous. And I didn't learn about that in history classes. The farmers, some fighting back, some people losing their lives because of the stress of being forced to grow food everywhere and anywhere they could. And even places they couldn't, the government's like, you have to do this. So watch those and see how people not only survived, but made it through financial hardships, food scarcities, all of that stuff. But yeah, when it comes to Lake Mead and Lake Powell, that was interesting to see how close it is where they are with water plants. So we talked about investments and food and weather. Now, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Plugging away, putting food away, learning new skills, how to carve. This was fun. I want to finish that fork up. Now, something fun I did years ago was dry can these crackers. You want to try a 3-year-old cracker?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I get in the frame?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. That was a good seal. That a good seal on there. It just smells like, what does it smell like?
Crackers, but salt.
It smells really stale.
It's okay to eat a stale cracker.
We're gonna find out. All right. Here's a little one. If you want to try.
Okay.
All right.
You try first.
Thanks.
I do not know what to say.
It tastes fine. These are the premium crackers in the blue and white box. It smells really stale, but it tastes fine.
It's been peanut butter and boom.
I know, right? Just put some peanut butter in here.
Don't do that if you're allergic.
Oh, yeah.
Just
of course. But it tastes fine. It tastes, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to put it to words. You can use a little extra salt on here, but the crunch is there. The taste is there. It tastes like a plain cracker. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I opened up and smelled it, it smelled really stale, but it tastes fine. What do you think of it? No, it's okay. I'm just saying, like, but what do you think of the taste?
Definitely nice.
Yeah, this is funny. You know what? Let's reseal it. Let's go another year. What do you guys think? All right, put that over there. I already have the brake bleeder out just for fun. If you look at one of my videos, there's a powerless way to reseal your jars without power, but that's funny.
I'm okay, tell someone you.
I have no idea what that was. Can you say that again?
Where is the X? I forgot where it was.
I don't know, but give me a minute. That was fun. That's funny. It tastes fine. The cracker tastes fine. It's crunchy. It's just crunchy.
Yeah. No sogginess, no nothing.
No, it's really good. You can do it. That's so funny. So if you want to, I would say mix up your investments. I was really happy to get the gold backs. It's just great for wallets, great for envelopes. I just got an email in here talking about Turkey limiting food exports. So again, I know it's like a broken record, but it's the same thing. Mylar bags, canning supplies, seeds, something as easy as sprouting and trays, 3 to 5 days. You can have nutrient sprouts for wraps, sandwiches on the side. Cold months, warm months, depending on where you live, you have a lot of options, a lot of great stuff. So, all right, that was fun. All right, you guys be safe and well on YouTube, and we'll do this again next Monday. You guys be safe. All right, D.